I don't. Well, clearly the car is capable of being P3, so Charles did a great job today, so I can't blame him on the car.
You don't have any idea why it's just not happening for you?
No.
All right, thank you. Sorry.
Ferrari's newest star driver is in trouble. Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion who shocked the F1 world by leaving Mercedes for the iconic red team, has hit a serious roadblock in his quest for that record-breaking 8th title. Just 5 races into F1 2025, Hamilton's Ferrari career resembles a nightmare rather than the dream partnership many expected. While his teammate Charles Leclerc celebrates podium finishes, Hamilton languishes in 7th place in the championship standings, already 68 points behind leader Oscar Piastri. What's happening to one of the sport's greatest drivers? The numbers don't lie, and they paint a grim picture. Hamilton's Ferrari career began with a disappointing 10th place in Australia, followed by 5th place in Bahrain, 7th place in Japan, and another 7th place in Saudi Arabia. His one moment of glory, winning the sprint race in China, only to be disqualified from the main Grand Prix just 24 hours later. This is not the Lewis Hamilton F1 fans recognize. The driver who dominated for over a decade at Mercedes now sits 7th in the championship, trailing even his rookie replacement at Mercedes, 18-year-old Kimi Antonelli, by 7 points. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix highlighted just how bad things have become. Hamilton finished a distant 7th, crossing the line a staggering 30.969 seconds behind teammate Charles Leclerc, who secured Ferrari's first podium of the season with 3rd place. Hamilton's frustration was evident in his post-qualifying comments. He quipped that he needed a brain transplant to gel with the SF25
Magic,
car.
or I think there's a quote saying you said you needed a brain transplant to get on top of this car, but it really seemed to come alive for you in that second stint towards the end there. Was there a point where you did feel comfortable in the race today?
He said, I've just got to keep on taking a deep breath. I know that the fans aren't happy. I'm sure the team are not happy. I know the bosses are not happy, and I'm not happy with my results. After the race, his assessment was even bleaker, describing the experience as horrible and predicting the rest of his season would be painful, with no fix to his current woes. When asked if he felt comfortable at all in the car during the Saudi race, Hamilton's response was brutally honest.
The end there. Was there a point where you did feel comfortable in the race today?
The core issue appears to be Hamilton's struggle to adapt his driving style to the Ferrari SF25. After 12 years at Mercedes, where he honed a specific approach to F1 cars, Hamilton now faces the massive challenge of rewiring his instincts. Hamilton said this before the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
My focus this weekend is driving style, really getting on top of the circuit, getting into a rhythm. This is a circuit where you need to get onto, a bit like Monaco, you have to get into a rhythm, or Baku, as early as possible, and then just make incremental gains from there. And not be overdriving, etc. So yeah, I've got a lot of work to do to kind of adapt the way that I approach corners, but it's not impossible. Might just take a little bit of time, but hopefully not too long.
He elaborated further.
I mean, I wouldn't want to go too much into detail, but it's just driving style. It's every driver has a driving style, and my driving style it's worked for many years, and naturally you adapt it a little bit over time, but this one needs a bit more of a drastic shift, and so I found a couple of things that worked in the last race.
The 7-time champion found a couple of things that worked in previous races, but admits implementing these changes consistently will be challenging. Hamilton said,
particularly when you're in qualifying, you really need to push to get that extra bit. I can imagine myself falling straight back to my old ways, so that's something I'm just going to have to really stay patient with.
The contrast with teammate Charles Leclerc is stark. Leclerc has been able to extract significantly more performance from essentially the same car, even securing Ferrari's first podium of F1 2025 in Saudi Arabia. Interestingly, Leclerc revealed he's also had to adapt to the car's characteristics.
Yeah, it's just a bit trickier to drive, and the car might be a bit less predictable going into a corner, and as a driver it's not something that particularly gives you confidence, but it's something that I like, weirdly, but then it's a fine line that you've got to find.
Hamilton has also pointed to the broader challenges of F1's current ground effect era, describing it as the worst in light of his ongoing struggles. Since the sport's rules changed at the start of 2022, Hamilton has been restricted to just 2 Grand Prix victories plus his sprint win in China this year. While rumors of discord within Ferrari have begun swirling, team principal Fred Vasser has come out swinging in Hamilton's defense. The Frenchman, who has a long history with Hamilton dating back to their GP 2 days in 2006, has dismissed claims of a dramatic decline in Hamilton's form in explosive fashion. "I will be 2,000% behind him," Vasser said after the Saudi Arabian race. "I will give him support, and we will start from tomorrow morning to try to find solutions and reasons and to work on it early in the morning." When pressed by a reporter about Hamilton's dramatic drop in form, Vasser's response was emphatic. "It's not dramatically. We did 5 races so far. I know that you want to have the big headlines tomorrow that Fred said this, but this is fucking bullshit." Vasser pointed to the natural ebbs and flows of F1 competition. "At the end of the day, we are in competition. You have ups and downs. When we have ups, we are not world champions. When we have downs, we are not nowhere. It's just a competition." The Ferrari boss compared Hamilton's situation to that of 4-time world champion Max Verstappen. "I'm not sure that you draw the same conclusion with Max last week when he was 7th. It is like it is. The competition is tight. You have 10 cars and a couple of tenths. Have a look at Max. He won in Japan. He finished 30 seconds behind Piastri in Bahrain, and in Saudi Arabia, he was P2 and had pole position." Despite the obvious adjustment period Hamilton is experiencing, Vasser has firmly rejected the notion that 2025 should be viewed as a transitional year for the British driver. Vasser explained, "It's not a transitional time, but for sure he's down because when you finish the race in 7th, your teammate is on the podium. Honestly, I take it as positive that Lewis is down because if he was happy with this, it wouldn't be normal. He's a racer. He's a competitor. He wants to get the best from what he has, and for sure he's disappointed." Vasser actually sees Hamilton's frustration as a good sign. If he were happy with 7th place, that would be abnormal. His disappointment shows he's a racer. We'll turn this around together. This refusal to accept poor results demonstrates Hamilton's competitive fire still burns brightly, even at 40 years old. But will that determination be enough to overcome the technical challenges he's facing? What exactly is Hamilton struggling with? According to Vasser, it's primarily about the car's balance and how Hamilton is working with the tires. Vasser said, "We just have to adjust the balance because we are collectively, Lewis and us, we are struggling with the balance of his car and how he is working the tires. It's a kind of negative spot, but I think the potential of the car is there and we will try to solve that." The Ferrari boss insists Hamilton's issues are technical, not personal, pointing to flashes of potential shown in China and Bahrain as evidence that Hamilton can extract performance from the SF25 under the right conditions. Hamilton himself pointed to the challenges of adapting to a completely new team environment. He said it's rare that you jump in and it just fits. All the switch settings are completely different, the software is different and everything. I am adapting to a car that's made quite differently to what I've worked with in the past. Ferrari did make some accommodations for Hamilton to mirror what he was familiar with from his Mercedes days, but clearly, this hasn't been enough to make him immediately competitive. Hamilton is not sitting around waiting for things to improve. After the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, he revealed he had been forced to cancel some plans for the week as he attempts to get to the bottom of his struggles. Hamilton recently bought a house in Milan's fashionable Porta Nuova area, was expected to visit Ferrari's Maranello factory ahead of the next race in Miami. Leclerc also confirmed he would be at the factory on Tuesday and Wednesday to help Ferrari kickstart their season.
Dealing with out there today, how was that quali and how was the car?
It was challenging as always, qualifying for me. I'd been nowhere all weekend. It's 13th, I think, in almost every session. So honestly, I'm grateful to have got to Q3.
Lewis Hamilton has revealed that he will be canceling his personal plans following the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix to focus on addressing his performance issues with Ferrari. Hamilton's transition to Ferrari has been far more challenging than anticipated. After his high-profile move from Mercedes, Hamilton has failed to finish higher than 5th in any of the first 5 Grand Prix races of the 2025 season. His best result remains a victory in the Chinese Grand Prix sprint race, which now appears to be an outlier rather than an indication of his potential with the team. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix highlighted the extent of Hamilton's difficulties. He qualified a concerning 0.6 of a second slower than teammate Charles Leclerc and finished the race in 7th position, a substantial 30.969 seconds behind Leclerc, who secured Ferrari's first podium of the 2025 season with a third-place finish. Hamilton's assessment of his performance was direct and concerning. Speaking to DAZ in Spain after the race, he stated, "It was disastrous today in terms of pace. I had no pace at all, as you could see. I had issues with the car. I was expecting a better day. I don't have a week off after this race. I've got a work week. After today, I'll have to cancel some plans." This revelation about canceling personal plans demonstrates Hamilton's determination to rectify his performance issues. The 2-week gap before the Miami Grand Prix on May 4th was likely intended to provide some respite from the demanding F1 schedule, but Hamilton has chosen to dedicate this time to working with the team. He is expected to visit Ferrari's Maranello factory, where he will work alongside engineers to identify solutions to his ongoing struggles with the SF25 car. His teammate Leclerc confirmed that he will also be at the factory on Tuesday and Wednesday this week, indicating a coordinated team effort to improve performance. Hamilton recently purchased a home in Milan's fashionable Porta Nuova district, further demonstrating his commitment to integrating with the Italian team. This decision to forego personal time for additional work with Ferrari shows his dedication to turning around his season. The difference in performance between Hamilton and Leclerc has been notable. In Saudi Arabia, the 31-second gap between the teammates was the largest between any two drivers from the same team who finished on the same lap. Hamilton currently sits in 7th place in the World Championship standings with 33 points, considerably behind leader Oscar Piastri's 99 points and even Leclerc's 50 points. This disparity is concerning for a driver of Hamilton's caliber and experience. When questioned about the differences between his driving and Leclerc's, Hamilton provided an honest assessment.
Bigger or smaller than others. Charles has obviously driven this car for a long time. He has this, the driving style he has works perfect with the car. He loves sliding the rears. He likes a really oversteery car, which is really impressive to see. And also just from the moment we get there at the weekend, he doesn't really change the car a huge amount. They kind of know where to start with from the previous years. I've tried pretty much everything now with the car, so I've learned what does and pretty much doesn't work. And then in terms of the inputs that I put into the car, I'm adjusting those to hopefully start to extract more performance from it.
He added, "We do have slightly different setups. I have to look and see whether that setup is the way the car likes to be." He and his side are definitely obviously doing a better job. In qualifying, it's me extracting performance. In the race, I tried everything, and the car just didn't want to go quicker. Perhaps most concerning are Hamilton's own predictions for the remainder of the 2025 season. When asked about his prospects for improvement, Hamilton offered a bleak assessment. "At the moment, there's no fix. This is how it's going to be for the rest of the year. It's going to be painful." He expressed no confidence in finding a solution before the Miami Grand Prix, stating, "I think I'll struggle also in Miami. I don't know how much longer I'll struggle for, but it's definitely painful." Hamilton described his Saudi Arabian Grand Prix experience as horrible with 0 positives, apart from Leclerc's podium finish. He elaborated on his issues with the car. "It was horrible, not enjoyable at all. I was just sliding around, first stint, massive understeer, car not turning, and then massive deg. And in the second stint, slightly better balance, but still just no pace. Pretty bad." When asked if he felt comfortable at any point during the race, Hamilton responded with a definitive, "No, there wasn't 1 second." These statements paint a concerning picture for Hamilton fans who had high expectations for his move to Ferrari. The 7-time champion appears to be in unfamiliar territory, unable to identify specific issues to address in order to improve his performance. Despite Hamilton's struggles, Ferrari team principal Fred Vasser has expressed unwavering support for the British driver. Vasser, who previously worked with Hamilton during his championship-winning GP2 season in 2006, stated, "I will be 2,000% behind him. I will give him support, and we will start from tomorrow morning to try to find solutions and reasons and to work on it early in the morning." Vasser dismissed suggestions that Hamilton's form has declined dramatically, stating, "It's not dramatically. We did 5 races so far. I know that you want to have the big headlines tomorrow that Fred said this. But this is fucking bullshit. At the end of the day, we are in competition. You have ups and downs." He added, "When we have ups, we are not world champions. When we have downs, we are not nowhere. It's just a competition. I'm not sure that you draw the same conclusion with Max Verstappen last week when he was 7th in Bahrain." Vasser also noted that he views Hamilton's disappointment as a positive sign. "Honestly, I take it as positive that Lewis is down, because if he was happy with this, it wouldn't be normal. He's a racer, he's a competitor, he wants to get the best from what he has, and for sure he's disappointed." Ferrari has been working on technical improvements to address their performance issues. The team introduced their first upgrade of the season at the recent Bahrain Grand Prix, which included a revised floor for the SF25. This development push continued in Saudi Arabia with modifications to the rear wing arrangement. According to reports, Ferrari plans to bring a more substantial upgrade package to the Miami Grand Prix. These technical developments could provide Hamilton with an opportunity to find more comfort with the car and improve his performance. Leclerc has identified qualifying as a key weakness for Ferrari, stating, "We're lacking performance overall because we're struggling a lot in qualifying. That's where we need to focus more now." He explained that the dirty air characteristics of the 2025 cars make it particularly difficult for drivers to make up positions during the race if they qualify poorly. Hamilton has previously expressed frustration with the ground effect era of Formula One cars that began in 2022. When asked about these regulations during the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix weekend, Hamilton described them as the worst. This suggests that Hamilton's struggles may be related to a fundamental incompatibility with the current generation of F1 cars rather than team-specific issues. However, when directly asked if there was a fundamental incompatibility between himself and these cars, Hamilton responded, "I really don't know." There is some hope on the horizon as Formula One will introduce a new rule set in 2026. Hamilton's contract with Ferrari covers at least one season under these new regulations. When asked if 2026 might provide a reprieve, Hamilton said, "I don't know anything about next year's car, if I'm going to be honest. I'm not spending any time to think about it. Let's hope it will be. Less ground effect, let's hope things shift a little bit." Hamilton's difficulties adapting to Ferrari are particularly notable when compared with other drivers who have changed teams for the 2025 season. Drivers like Carlos Sainz and Esteban Ocon have started to gel with their new teams and cars more effectively than Hamilton.